Genesis chapter 21. The Lord took note of Sarah as he had said he would. He did for her as he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the set time that God had stated. Abraham gave the name Isaac to his son of his whom Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him, as God had commanded. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah then said, God has given me a cause to laugh, and all who hear it will laugh with me. Who would have told Abraham, she added, that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. Isaac grew, and on the day of the child's weaning, Abraham held a great feast. Sarah noticed the son whom Hagar the Egyptian had borne to Abraham playing with her son Isaac. So she demanded of Abraham, drive out that slave and her son. No son of that slave is going to share the inheritance with my son Isaac. Abraham was greatly distressed, especially on account of his son Ishmael. But God said to Abraham, do not be distressed about the boy or about your slave woman. Heed the demands of Sarah, no matter what she is asking of you, for it is through Isaac that the descendants shall bear your name. As for the son of the slave woman, I will make a great nation of him also. He is too your offspring. Early the next morning, Abraham got some bread and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. Then, placing the child on her back, he sent her away. As she roamed aimlessly in the wilderness of Beersheba, the water in the skin was used up. So she put the child under a shrub and then went and sat down opposite of him, about a bow shot away. For she said to herself, let me not watch to see this child die. As she sat opposite of him, she began to cry. God heard the boy's cry, and God's messenger called to Hagar from heaven. What is the matter, Hagar? Don't be afraid. God has heard the boy's cry in this plight of his. Arise, lift up the boy, and hold him by the hand, for I will make of him a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. She went and filled the skin with water, and then let the boy drink. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the wilderness and became an expert bowman, with his home in the wilderness of Paran. His mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt. About that time, Abimelech, accompanied by Phicol, the commander of his army, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do. Therefore swear to me by God that at this place that you will not deal falsely with me or with my progeny and posterity, but will act as loyally toward me and the land by which you stay as I have acted toward you. To this Abraham replied, I so swear. Abraham, however, reproached Abimelech about a well that Abimelech's men had seized by force. I have no idea who did that, Abimelech replied. In fact, you have never told me about it, nor did I ever hear of it until now. Then Abraham took sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two made a pact. Abraham also set apart 7 ewe lambs of the flock, and Abimelech asked him, what is the purpose of those 7 ewe lambs that you have set apart? Abraham answered, the 7 ewe lambs that you shall accept from me, that thus I may have acknowledgment of the well that was dug by me. This is why the place is called Beersheba. The two of them took an oath there. When they did this, when they had thus made the pact at Beersheba, Abimelech, along with Phicol, the commander of his army, left and returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk at Beersheba, and there he invoked the Lord by name, God the Eternal. Abraham resided in the land of the Philistines for many years. Genesis chapter 22. Sometime after these events, God put Abraham to the test. He called to him, Abraham. Ready, he replied. Then God said, take your son Isaac, your only one, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. There you shall offer him up as a holocaust on the height that I will point out to you. Early the next morning, Abraham saddled his donkey, took took him with his son Isaac and 2 of his servants as well, and with the wood that he had cut off for the holocaust, set out for the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day, Abraham got sight of the place from afar. Then he said to his servants, "Both of you stay here with the donkey, while the boy and I go over yonder. We will worship and then come back to you." Thereupon Abraham took the wood for the holocaust and laid it upon his son Isaac's shoulders, while he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two walked on together, Isaac spoke to his father Abraham. "Father," he said. "Yes, son," he replied. Isaac continued, "Here are the fire and the wood, but where is the sheep for the holocaust?" "Son," Abraham answered, "God himself will provide the sheep for the holocaust." Then the two continued going forward. When they came to the place of which God had told him, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. Next he tied up his son Isaac to put him on top of the wood on the altar. Then he reached out and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the Lord's messenger called to him from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham." "Yes, Lord," he answered. "Do not lay your hand on the boy," said the messenger. "Do not do the least thing to him. I know now that how devoted you are to God, since you did not withhold from me your only beloved son." As Abraham looked about, he spied a ram caught by its horns in the thicket. So he went and took the ram and offered it up as a holocaust in place of his son. Abraham named the site Yahweh Yireh. Hence, people now say, "On the mountain the Lord will see." Again the Lord's messenger called to Abraham from heaven and said, "I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you acted as you did in the withholding from me in not withholding from me your beloved son, I will bless you abundantly and make your descendants as countless as the stars in the sky and the sands in the seashore. Your descendants shall take possession of the gates of their enemies, and in your descendants all the nations of the earth shall find blessing. All this because you obeyed my command." Abraham then returned to his servants, and they set out together for Beersheba, where Abraham made his home. Sometime afterward, the news came to Abraham, "Milcah too has borne sons to your brother Nahor. Uz, the firstborn, his brother Buz, Kumael, Chesed, Hazo, Pildash, Jiphlath, and Bethuel. Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Abraham's brother Nahor. His concubine, whose name was Reumah, also bore children, Teba, Gaham, Tahash, and Maacah. The word of the Lord.